All right, are you ready for some more Cyberpunk news? Let's talk about it. So we have this right here. Cyberpunk add-on names from Epic Game Store aren't DLC. CD Projekt Red says. You guys may remember that previous leak suggesting that there are going to be 10 DLCs coming up here with like a bunch of free DLC and then also big expansions. Well, CD Projekt Red has some words about that one. Now, also, we're going to be taking a look at this, how multiplayer has been reconsidered, possibly delayed entirely, or canceled outright. We have some comments from CD Projekt on that one. Plus, there's a lot of confusion going on right now around Cyberpunk as a franchise. In fact, there's so much confusion that this has influenced CD Projekt's stock, and it went down 14% more recently. Will it go up? Well, perhaps Elon Musk can send out a tweet and help him out. But hey everyone, what's happening? Open World Games here. Hope you're doing good, and let's dive straight into the latest news right now. So let's talk about that recent leak and official comments and replies from CD Projekt Red about that leak. So what in the world are these weird files and DLC, supposed DLC that was found and discovered on the Epic Game Store? So yeah, you got to remember that earlier this week on the subreddit uncovered several names from the Epic Game Store initially believed to be the names of upcoming Cyberpunk content. Now, in an email to IGN, a CD Projekt representative confirmed that these names are not DLCs for Cyberpunk 2077. This begs the question, what are they? So in a thread on the Cyberpunk subreddit, user Prickly Assassin shared images of now gone add-on page for Cyberpunk in the Epic Game Store with a series of blank listings for what looks like Cyberpunk content. This add-on page apparently appeared on Epic Store shortly after the week's 1.2 patch, but has since been mysteriously removed. So the screenshot showed the following listings right here, which all sounded really interesting and cool. Gangs of Night City was intriguing, and then the actual Night City expansion, at least for me, and then the relic seemed to tie into the actual skill, the missing skill tree, if you would. That would be added into the game. Now, given CD Projekt confirmation that these aren't named for upcoming DLC, this leads to a couple of different possibilities, the most likely being that these aren't the final names for Cyberpunk upcoming add-on content. Now, what do we know officially? We know officially that we will be getting a roadmap. We do have a roadmap. We have patches and updates coming for Cyberpunk, free DLCs, and of course that next-gen update content is coming for Cyberpunk, so that is what we do know. And they're doing stuff for The Witcher. They're doing a mobile game. They're doing The Witcher 3 next-gen update, which could actually be really, really cool, and I'm excited for that. These next-gen updates, I think, could really revitalize these games right here. I hope. We shall see. So they're also going to be redoing their marketing strategy going forward. You know, they're not going to be announcing games too soon. This is something they all said. I covered this all in a previous video, but yeah, I think a lot of people are wondering, well, are we getting this standalone multiplayer game as well? You know, that the rumor is that's been possibly delayed or canceled, and they're going to be focusing on bringing online into all of its franchises one day instead of just one standalone experience. So this has caused mass confusion, and the hazy messaging from CD Projekt Red about what's happening to Cyberpunk's multiplayer has confused players and investors alike, and it's caused some major discussion. So let's take a look at this article right here. It says, in a previous earnings call, this is really noteworthy, transcribed by Seeking Alpha, Kansky of CD Projekt Red has made clear that a separate team was making multiplayer, and that we at CD Projekt think about it as a standalone project, but crucially never went as far as saying it would be released as a standalone project. Now, Adam Kansky comments yesterday don't clear that up, neither do they actually specify what's now happening to that project. Furthermore, it says this, previously we hinted that our next AAA would be a multiplayer Cyberpunk game, but we have decided to reconsider this plan given our new, more systemic and agile approach. Instead of primarily focusing on one big online experience or game, we are focusing on bringing online into all of our franchises one day. Now, that does tell us something has changed, but not exactly what, of course. Cyberpunk multiplayer may have been delayed, it may have been canceled, or may be retooled. So, yeah, which one is it? I think we're all kind of begging for clarification as to what is going on. I was hoping they were going to be saying something simple like, hey, we're going to be refocusing our efforts on single player, but I feel like also strangely part of the community wants a multiplayer experience. How many of you out there actually want to see a Cyberpunk multiplayer experience? You know, there were files discovered once again in the main game, Cyberpunk 2077, that were alluding to the fact that we would be getting a multiplayer heist mode, that sort of thing, which honestly sounds pretty interesting. But I think they need to go back to their bread and butter, which is single player RPG. Now, let's keep going and see further comments from Adam Quincy and, of course, CD Projekt Red. So it says this: the closest to an explanation came early on from Quincy, who touched on the company's philosophy for multiplayer going forward without directly explaining how that would be applied to Cyberpunk. It says, regarding online, we are changing our approach. We want to have online in our future games, definitely, but step by step. We are working on specific features enhancing our single player, but we are not working on releasing the next game as a big online experience. So we'll be enhancing our single player games with online experiences. Okay, it says the only change is that we continue to work on online not as a main production line, but as a supportive production line together with our single player productions. But we believe that our ideas, once they will be revealed, will be very exciting for gamers as an extra experience in our world, which fits our single player game. So, you know, at least they did say that their main production is going to be single player. So, you know, that's good news. I think they should have really covered online in a separate address outside of single player. But that's just, you know, how I feel about it, of course. Now, there's some interesting takes from some analysts right here. It says that haziness about the actual ideas behind all this led to a number of follow-up questions from investors. Matthew Walker of Credit Suisse put it perhaps most bluntly when asked about the specific wording used in the original announcement. I don't think I'm the only person on the call who is somewhat confused by the definition about online versus multiplayer. He added, I appreciate you don't want to reveal all your plans, but this is a pretty important thing that people have been waiting for quite a long time. No plans were revealed in response. So yeah, a lot of question marks regarding this one, and we'll see about what is going on. Now, it goes on to say, asked for the fifth and final time about the mode in the Q&A. Quincy, who sounded audibly tired at this point, replied more directly, we are not ready to talk about any details. I know it's hard for everyone, but we are trying to change our approach to talking about the future. We are more focused on how we work, less focused on our release plan. So kudos to them on that. You know, I think that right there is a very good idea, is to step back, take a look internally at what they can do to adjust and take their time right now, because yeah, they've had a really rough time of it with Cyberpunk 2077 and its launch. Now let's talk about the most recent update 1.2. How's it going so far? So we do have some good feedback and some very bad feedback from the community. It says update 1.2 is such a great update for older consoles, just wish we could sit in the chairs. Yeah, that would be a cool feature, and it would make sense to have, because they were promising a lot of social features in the game, but I don't know if it's going to be top priority to allow, you know, you to sit in chairs. Now, this one is one of the most upvoted topics right now on Cyberpunk. It's actually kind of a cool glitch. It says 1.2 messed up my entire save, and now the whole night city is a sandstorm permanently. Honestly, I'm not even mad. And he shows this video here showcasing him walking around. I won't play. I don't want to take views from him, but check it out in the description below. But he even provides a follow-up. He's like, a follow-up to my previous post about a sandstorm corrupted world, where I have some random screenshots around Night City. Check that out. That's actually really cool looking. I'll leave some of the screenshots to the Reddit post for you. There's a couple more here, so you can check it out and reply to him. See the description below if you want to check that out. But yeah, some people say that patch 1.2 is actually a welcome step in the right direction. This comes from CS Reynolds 84, who says, look, I get it, okay? Cyberpunk 2077 disappointed pretty much everyone. I'm not about to spend the next hour rehashing what's been said a million times, but I do emphasize with people's frustrations that CD Projekt Red and its handling of this title, and agreed that mistakes were made, big ones. However, there is an immeasurable amount of hate and toxicity being perpetrated even after yesterday's patch, with people claiming things are still broken and the game's dead, just quit. And I feel some perspective is in order. Yesterday's patch was never intended to fix everything. Update 1.1 and 1.2 were steps towards resolving the biggest obstacles gamers were facing when playing the title. And in my opinion, they succeed for the most part in that regard. Sure, cops are still immersion breaking, some odd visual glitches still occur, and there's a litany of fixes still to implement, but can we all just measure our expectations a bit, please? What happened happened. CD Projekt Red misled us, shipped a hot mess, lawsuits, bad times, etc. It's not acceptable, and the company is reaping what it sowed, but it's also trying to right its wrongs. Several hundreds of issues have been addressed even after CD Projekt Red suffered a cyber attack, had its IP stolen, got locked out of its own network, and is on ongoing battle to fight off all the negativity. So yeah, they are going through a lot, and he's basically saying credit is due where credit is due with them trying to fix the game. Do you agree with this post right here? Sound off, of course, in the comments down below. Do you think CD Projekt Red deserves a break? Did update 1.2 live up to your expectations? Now, for me, I agree with this post right here. It says, I'm finally able to play at 60 frames per second with the recommended graphics card. Before 1.2, I was using medium settings, capped at 30 frames per second on a GTX 1060 6GB for the win. And now I can finally play at 60 at high settings with volumetric cloud quality at medium. Granted, I'm still relying on the dynamic resolution adjustment at 50% minimum, but the improvement is still noticeable in terms of fluidity and graphical fluidity. Slow HDD mode turned on showed an even greater improvement as well as compared to previous builds. Thanks, CD Projekt Red. PS, make sure to update graphics drivers and to set task priority high. Good point. So yeah, I'm in the same boat. I've noticed improvements with actually how the game runs. I think that's great news, of course, and that's definitely a step in the right direction. I'm on a beastly machine as well, 2080 Ti, so there's no reason for Cyberpunk to have any issues, in my opinion. And I had to like bring it down to medium previously, and it was still running pretty crappy, but now it's running nice and smooth. Is it on ultra? Not really. Now, there's also some sarcastic comments about update 1.2. Here we go. This one comes from Levy Head. He says, the new Cyberpunk update is so great. Love it. Kissy face there. And I'm not going to play the video. Once again, you check it out yourself. But it showcases how, I think this is on PS4. No, this is actually on Xbox. Excuse me, Xbox One. And it shows how, you know, textures aren't loading in. The weapon is not loading in. There are massive issues with the game, and that's a shame to see. I have heard that the last gen versions of the game have been improved in some areas, I think, but overall they have a lot more work to do in that regard. All right, now it's time for your top comments. Remember to leave a comment down below. I could end up right here in a future video. My previous video was called this big news update. CD Projekt Red just revealed the future of Cyberpunk, Witcher, and CD Projekt Red. And this is where the confused messaging came in with the multiplayer. They say this. Now, this is a reply, excuse me. It says, Michael J. Hoot, I think, says, if they specialize in everything, they specialize in nothing. Well said there. So go back to your roots, CD Projekt Red, in my opinion. Mike says, I hope this game is has a true comeback. The city is too detailed and amazing to be put to waste. I mean, for me, the city is what I was hyped for the most. It's just so detailed and very beautiful to drive around. They have a good base for this game, for sure. Nautica Heat says, I like that after stepping in so much crap, they finally cleaned their shoes and proven fans right. They're still a long way ahead, but this is a good sign. Adam says this, it's worrisome when they say they're mixing RPG with other genres. To me, this just means dumbing down and taking out game mechanics. See, yeah, there's a lot of worry, you know, still in my mind. You know, my mind hasn't really been put at ease since their last conference thing because, yeah, you got to consider what you just said, Adam, as well as the fact that they want to put online in everything, even if it's like as a support thing. I don't even know if that's a good idea. EA, they're like, hell no, we're not going to do live service, nothing. So, we'll see. Also, let's take a look at what Ever So Strange says. They said, the need to get the offline game to 100% before they even should start thinking about the online, because if they don't, they will push away the fans that are still backing Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like once again they have that GTA Online in the back of their mind, like constantly nagging at them. They need to really take a lesson from People Can Fly, the guys that are making the Outriders game. They're taking it nice and slow. They're not even doing a live service product, and they're going like more after the Monster Hunter realm, I guess you would say, in terms of post-launch support. They're judging and seeing how the game does, and then they're going to offer that content, that bigger content and expansions and stuff like that. So perhaps CD Projekt Red should do the same. But thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more news and updates about Cyberpunk. And of course, I am covering Outriders. And yeah, there's some other games I'm interested in checking out, including Biomutant. That's coming out here in May. So I might start coverage up on that. We'll see. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time. Take care.